Good morning, guys. Today we're going to continue our unit on early American civilizations, and we're going to be talking about the Aztecs. So who were the Aztecs? They were an empire that dominated in Central America from the year 1325 until 1521. So a pretty short reign, just under 200 years. They were an empire of people that were ruled by only one emperor. I meant at a time, not like total. Obviously, somebody couldn't live for 200 years, but they were under rule of one emperor at a time. They began as a tribe of hunters and gatherers. Their capital city was Tenochtitlan. Okay, this is the capital of the Aztec Empire. It was on an island in the middle of Lake Texaco in central Mexico, which I think is super cool that it was on an island. This city was the epicenter of trade, religion, and was home to the Aztec emperors. That's where they lived. So some creative solutions since their capital city was on an island. They had some things like causeways, which were raised roads that go across the water or wet ground. You can kind of see what they look like here. So they would lead you to the island. And then the chinampas, which are a floating land used for farming. Okay, so they did get very creative with some of their solutions. They had a social structure that was similar to what we talked about last week with the Mayans. The emperor was at the top. Then you had your nobility and priests, okay? Then the merchants, which are people that sold things, made things. The soldiers were all right here in the middle. Then your fishermen, farmers, and women. But then at the bottom, they did add another hierarchy, which was slaves. Their religion. They believed in many different gods. They believed that these gods controlled nature, the harvest, and the humans, okay? They sacrificed up to 10,000 people per year, and they believed that these sacrifices made their gods happy, okay? This is just a kind of a depiction of some of their gods, okay? Just some of them. All right, so their culture, they were known for their architecture, jewelry making, and masks. Okay, their pyramids, there's some jewelry, there's some masks. Their culture, they were gifted astronomers. They did study the stars and the skies and the planets. They developed their own calendar as well, and they kept a written record of historical events, okay, which again, guys, really kind of sets them apart as one of the more advanced civilizations. So what happened? Why did they fall? In the 1400s, the Spanish exploration boats, okay, and explorers arrive in central Mexico in the 1400s. They were seeking adventure, riches, and they were also seeking to spread Christianity. Okay, so in 1519, Hernan Cortez and crew arrive in Central America. They wanted to find gold and claim land and spread Christianity. When Cortez arrived, the Aztec Emperor Moctezuma II welcomes him, but he does it cautiously. He doesn't trust him yet. Okay. They believed that Cortez was actually one of their gods, okay, because of the way that he was dressed. Think about like his helmet and what's on top of his helmet. They believed that he was like the second coming of one of their gods, okay, the Quetzalcoatl, who had left Mexico hundreds of years before, and he had promised to return in 1519. So the fact that Cortez had shown up in the year 1519, he kind of looked like what they expected him to. He had a headdress on the top of his helmet kind of deal. They thought that he was one of their gods, okay? So they begin to treat him like that. They give him gold, okay, but a lot of it. They filled a room, okay, but Cortez wanted more. He took the emperor prisoner then. The Aztecs then realize he is not their god. They attack, they drive the Spanish out, but in the end, their emperor is killed, okay? Cortez and his men return for revenge less than a year later, so they bring even more people, okay? And by 1521, the Aztecs ceased to exist. The Spanish just sent too many soldiers. They killed them off, okay? So the Aztecs were warlike people, so how did the Spanish beat them? The Spanish brought horses, okay? This made their soldiers superior. They could move faster. They were on higher ground, okay? They also purposely gave the Aztecs blankets that were coated, that had smallpox, and so that actually killed off a lot of the Aztecs, okay? And that is what happened to the Aztecs. Go ahead and complete your show.